good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me. And I'm glad to be back after a 4-day hiatus in Mexico, where it was just impossible with all the excursions and activities and connecting with my team. It was a trip that I won with my company. So I didn't get to do all the episodes last week, but I'm here, I'm back. Today is let's see, December 12th, 2016. I cannot believe we're almost done with this year. And today we're going to talk about episode 32. We're going to talk about the fact that there are no shortcuts to success. And this industry, like no others, we see that people want the quick way, the quick fix. They want the MLM fairy to drop people down into their team and their organization, and they're trying to defy the laws of nature, which say that development in all stages of life, there's development that's crucial. For example, when you're a baby, you have to crawl, you have to be on your tummy, and then you have to push yourself up, and then you have to crawl, and before you walk, before you run. You've never seen a baby come out and start running, right? Well, and every single step is important to development, and you don't. In fact, I had a nephew that never crawled, and it caused him all kinds of problems, so that he had to go through therapy as a much older child to go through crawling, because it's important for like hand-eye coordination, etc. And he had to go through therapy and go through tunnels to force him to crawl. So everything's important, but what happens when we attempt to shortcut the natural process of our growth or our business and development, you're pretending to play at a higher level. You're pretending to know more and be more, and soon you'll realize that number one, you don't, and soon you'll realize other people realize that you don't. And so that's why they say the law of the lid states that you will never supersede your level of personal development, your level of growth. And that's because if you get to the top by timing, sheer determination, hard work, and you don't have the leadership to maintain that team, to teach people, to grow people, to develop people, you don't have the mindset that you need to go and work with people and taproot and teach people systems, then it's going to fall apart. And I know that because in my first 2 years of network marketing, I built a team of 9,000 distributors. 9,000 distributors, my first go in network marketing, but it fell apart because I didn't have the leadership, the influence, the knowledge, the experience to to keep people in it, because I was new myself. Hold on, let me grab my water. Oh, sorry. So, people are always trying to look for the shortcut, and the laws of growth and development they're easy to violate, but it's so important that you don't, because contrary to nature, attempting to seek a shortcut only results in, for most people, disappointment, frustration, criticism, right? You like fake it till you make it doesn't mean pretend to be a leader. It means pretend to be confident until you really are. It means that I don't even think fake it till you make it, but nobody knows that you're not confident. Nobody knows that you're not, you're shy unless you let them know. So fake it till you make it, I don't think means pretend you're a millionaire and walk around in a suit that you just put on a credit card and, drive a car that you can't afford and live in a house you can't afford. That's just dumb. Fake it till you make it, I think a lot of people say is basically just, like having the posture and the vision far before you actually have the results, right? You have to have the mindset of a millionaire before you're the millionaire. Like if you want to be the super intergalactic global rank of your company, then you have to think like that person, right? You have to do what they do. You have to make the calls. But by trying to shortcut, you're going to reveal ignorance. You're going to reveal you're going to be frustrated, you're going to lack confidence, and then you're going to quit. So just as if we can, have to, like, how would you feel if a surgeon wanted to operate on you after one physiology or anatomy class? Like, how No, that's not something you want. You want a doctor who's gone through med school, who's gone through class, who's gone through training, who's operated on cadavers, who's gone through residencies, who's studied under other doctors. You know, the consequences of attempting to shortcut the natural process in the business world is like you're trying to create a fake culture, like create a fake environment. You go through, you know, strong speeches and smiles and everything's great. And I've seen this. You have, you know, external radiance and, you know, everything's going to be fine and we're going. But here's the thing is, you know, if it's not real, it's going, time will tell. And for you too. So you know, it's okay to say to someone, I'm new in network marketing, and although I see what's possible, and I know it's possible because this industry does, you know, almost $200 billion worldwide. There are thousands and thousands and thousands, probably tens of thousands of millionaires in this industry. It's okay to know what's possible, but to tell people like, look, I'm new. I'm working with people who know what they're doing. Let's learn this together. And if you go faster than me, it's okay. I won't hold you back, right? It's okay to be vulnerable. When I first started, I didn't know diddly squat about diddly squat, right? And so I just kept saying, hey, there's this lady making all this kind of money, and I'm just going to do what she does until I get where she's gotten, and I'm going to just follow the steps. You should follow them with me. That was the vision of, you know, that was the idea of painting vision. But if you have hype and fake and BS, all you're going to do is create a low trust climate of manipulation, and no team will ever, no company will ever succeed in an environment of fake and manipulation. So be true to yourself. So instead, instead of saying, how fast can I get there? What's the quickest way I can make my money? You know, ask things like, how can you teach me? What techniques do I need? Give people a realistic expectation up front, what it's really going to take. I mean, can you go fast? Oh my gosh, yes. You know, I was making $35,000 a month after 15 months, and over half of that I was working full time with 2 small kids because I had a great work ethic and I followed the steps and I did what I needed to do, and I taught people very quickly to do what I did, and I had a plan and I taught people my plan. But there's so many people that come in with the wrong attitude. How quick can I get there? How fast can I go? And you know, show me the quickest way. The quickest way, there is no quick way, because who you become in the process. If you just go out and enroll a bunch of big packages and make, let's say, $5,000 your first month in your company, you have learned nothing about growth, about building a team, about leadership. You've done nothing about creating culture or helping other people or following a system. All you did is use your skill or your talent to go recruit people, and that's not duplicatable. And it's always a law that if you try to skip and there's no shortcut, and if you try to create one, it's at some point it's going to fall apart. So it's better to go slow and learn and grow and develop your people and equip them by doing it yourself, learning the best way to do it, then doing it in front of other people, and then have them do it, and then you watch them do it. And that's the process of equipping. And the person you become in over the course of time is far more valuable than any money that you make. You know, so network marketing is a profession. And if you're willing to do all the steps instead of having your upline do it, like I don't mind. I'll do 3-way calls every day, all day, 10 hours a day. I mean, you know, when my kids are at school, I'll do them, you know, at night when they go to bed. I'll do them even a couple hours when they're home because they're doing homework and they're playing in the yard and, you know, cleaning their room and all that. I will do them every free second I have. But what I always teach my team is the moment you don't need me to do that is the moment you have taken control of your team and you are growing in the process. And now you're going to be able to teach other people. If you bring every single person to me and I have to talk to every single person that comes in your team, what happens if I go on vacation? Your business stops for a week. So I always tell people, like, do 3-way calls with me as many times as you can to learn the process, learn the questions, learn the answers, learn how I answer them, learn how I build rapport, learn how we have a conversation, learn how I build vision. Make notes. If you're sitting there on a 3-way call, playing Candy Crush, you're missing out the whole lesson. You're never going to have the success you want. If you're sitting there on a 3-way call and you're on Facebook, you're never going to learn. When you're on a 3-way call, you're going to take notes. You're going to say, oh, wow, what a great point. And you're going to write down bullet points and like things that when you hear the other person go, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. Or, oh, that's so great. Or, okay, how do I get started? Like, what did she say right before that? Then you're learning. And there's so much value in that because then you're taking ownership and you're scoring the touchdowns. You're getting the success. Now people are going to want to join you because you've got the confidence. You've got the moral authority. Moral authority is the highest form of influence. Talk is talk, walk is walk, and your walk talks louder than your talk. So you want moral authority. You want influence over people. You got to be walking the walk. I'm sitting here 9 years and 8 months in this industry, and I am still doing every single thing today that number one I did to get where I was in the beginning, and that I'm teaching my team that I expect of the new person. In fact, I run contests every month to see if people can out-recruit me. And only one person in a very big chunk of my team, I ran it with a couple teams, and only one person out-sponsored me out of 1,000, or hundreds. So it's fun that, if you stay in phase 1, and network marketing phase 1 is making your list, inviting, and presenting. The one thing that will separate you from the pack the fastest possible is the number of times that you are presenting or connecting people to the story of your product or service every time a month. And some research and some maybe it's just empirical data has shown that the tipping point is 15 people a month. Meaning, if you're connecting your story, the company story, whatever products or services you're promoting or distributing, if you're connecting 15 people a month, meaning if you do 3 parties and there were 5 brand new prospects at each party, or let's say you do 1 a week and there's 4 prospects at each one, that's 16 people. Or you do 15 hours of a month, by the way, which is like 3.5 hours a week. If you're literally sitting down with 15 separate people a month that said, I'm interested in what you're doing, and you're showing them the story. This is our product or service. This is who the company is. And this is the income story every month. Then that's the tipping point. If you continue to do that consistently, that's the tipping point that will take you from running with the pack to just going way ahead of them, just connecting with the story. And in that process, I want you to think about it, because the first maybe month or so, you're going to be connecting people to the story while you're learning the story. So 3-way calls, launch calls, or Zooms or Skypes or webinars, or however you connect your prospects to your person, whether you're new or whatever. And then in-home meetings, hotel meetings, webinars, however it is, every time you personally bring a prospect, or even if you don't have a prospect, you should be on learning that story. And the quicker you're able to grab your team and you teach the story 10, 15 times personally and in your team. So like, oh, Tara, I only have 2 people on my team. Great. Then have them invite 5 people each month. Have them connect 5 people and you connect 5. That's 15. You 5, them 5. So each of you would have to have 1.5 persons on average a week to present to. 1.5? Like, if you're not doing that, you're not doing network marketing. Your entire job in network marketing is to connect people to your company story. Why do they need your product? Why do they need your service? How is it going to change your life? And how can this business opportunity be an answer to their financial problems or their goals or their dreams or their plans? But what happens is, a lot of times people come in and they just want someone else to do it all for them. And you know what? That's great. I mean, I've had some people that were amazing connectors that came in, connected me with several incredible people who I'm still friends with this day, and made 6 figures a year doing it, and never did a presentation, or did, very few presentations, enough to get them in. And then it was me doing the presentations at their house and on the phone for them. So being a connector is fine, but being a connector will never make millions of dollars. You have to have 2 skills in network marketing for mega success. My tooth's driving me crazy. There's 2 skills that you need. The number 1 skill is recruiting. If you don't have people and you don't have a business, what are you growing? You have to learn how to recruit. Recruiting is inviting. You have to invite people to connect them to the story. And the second thing is you have to be a team builder, meaning, okay, I sign up Sally. Well, Sally has a network that I do not have access to except for through Sally. So let's say Sally has 300 contacts. Great. We're going to teach Sally a very professional way to invite the 300 people to hear the story. That's called team building. So now Sally makes 75 calls her first 2 weeks. She gets 25 customers. If you're good, you're going to get 25 customers. And because maybe you can remember your first few calls, you're going to cherry pick. You're going to be like, oh, let's say if you sell jewelry and someone's always wearing jewelry, you're going to cherry pick and call her. If you sell weight loss and someone's overweight, they've tried other programs, you're probably going to cherry pick and call them. So let's say you call 75 people and you get 20 to 25 customers and you get 3 to 4 business partners. Now Sally has a team. So now you're teaching Sally in the process, okay, Sally, here's your team. Like, here's all the people in your team, right? You just signed up 4 distributors. Now let's take those 4 distributors and let's do the same thing that we did with you. And I'm still going to do this. I'm doing this with you. And in that process, Sally has watched me do it. She's learning and she's starting to do it. And then pretty soon, after so many generations of team building, Sally all of a sudden breaks away from me, and now she's doing it by herself. And that is what will make Sally very successful. But if you need everyone on your team, every prospect that you ever have to talk to your sponsor or your leader, then you haven't taken ownership of your business, and you're still taking the shortcut. So you have to know that there is no shortcuts to success, and the road to success is uphill all the way. It's uphill all the way, all the way. There is no coasting. If you're not coasting, you're going backwards. Okay, so pretend you're riding a bike up a hill. You're pedaling, right? Pedaling, and you're stop pedaling. You don't keep going up the hill. The laws of gravity says you start going backwards, right? You eventually slow down, and then you go like that. It's the same principle. It's like an ironclad law of the universe that if you're not pedaling, not growing, you are declining. There's no exception to this unless you are literally the luckiest person on planet Earth, and you just happen to be surrounded by influencers and you connected 3 people and they went on to become millionaires. You know what? Congratulations for you for having a great influence on people. You probably did something for years to gain influence, and influential people are actually much more successful that will. I mean, an influential person is always going to have a leg up in network marketing against somebody with a low influence. Why? Because they have influence. That's why even if you're young, you can still gain influence. It might take you longer. You might have to learn more. You might have to up your game, up your confidence, up your skills, up your knowledge. Somebody who has influence, who's not as smart as someone who doesn't have influence but is smart, might even the playing field. So There's just so many people that come into this industry, and after 3 months, they're like, oh, why am I not rich yet? Well, because you've been in 3 months and you're trying to shortcut it. You just signed up, you talked to 15 people, you've signed up 2, and you're not a millionaire, and you're concerned about this. I posted something on my Facebook the other day. Sorry, I had to tell my husband he needs to get my kids. It said, there is no secret. Bill Britt, who was $1 million, or still is, or was, or whatever, $1 million a month earner for Amway. So there is no secret. I simply showed the plan to 1,300. 900 said no, or 1,200. 900 said no. 300 said yes. Of those, 35 people did anything. 35 people did anything, and 11 of them made me a millionaire. But 1,200 people, I've probably showed the plan through personal recruits and Taproot to tens of thousands of people in 9.5 years. So it's not a wonder that I'm successful. I just keep getting in front of people with the plan, with the products, with the services, with the comp plan, with the story, with the opportunity, with the vision. So, had I not done that, you can't learn network marketing from a book. Now, there are a lot of great books that will teach you skills that you have to go out. Here's the golden nugget right here. If you remember nothing else from this training, remember this. You can learn all you want, but until you go out and apply it, you never get the lesson. So you can learn to make a list and call 100 people, but until you call the 100 people and experience the things that you're going to experience, rejection and ridicule and people hanging up on you and people criticizing you and people think you're dumb or people think you're great, or the successes you'll get from getting the customer, the successes you'll get from getting the business partners and the checks. You're going to have a spectrum of things you're going to go through in those 100 people. And until you do that, you don't get the lesson. You can learn all you want. You could read 1,000 books if they were written about surfing. But until you get your butt on a surfboard and hit some waves and fall down and fall down and fall down and fall down, you don't just read and then go out and expect to catch it and look like the professional surfer. You're going to have to try probably thousands of times before you catch that wave. The people come into network marketing and they think there's a shortcut. No, the shortcut is, there is no shortcut. The shortcut is that people make it look easy. If people make it look like they're going faster, they're compressing time. You might make 100 calls in 6 months. They probably made 100 calls in 6 days. So their results are going to be faster. They're going to make a lot of money, and that's why it looks so easy, and it looks like it's easy because they did more work. So when someone has a great story, you've got to get all the details of the story. So in those 100 calls to make, maybe let's say they made $5,000, in our company, the highest package will yield you a $500 commission. So let's say you made 100 calls, you have good influence, medium influence, and you signed up 10 people on our best package, you'd make $5,000. Sounds amazing. But someone who goes and makes 5 calls is not going to have the same results as someone who made 100 calls. You see what I'm saying? So you can't compare yourself to anybody else. You got to ask that person, what did you do to make $5,000? I signed up 10 people on the highest package. I explained the value of this and what we're doing and painted vision. And I got 90 no's. And I got 13 people that were rude and criticized me and ridiculed me and mocked me. Tell that story. So if you want to know the real story, ask the person who's having the success. I mean, my first 9 months in this industry was a disaster. It was a disaster. I literally had people going, stop talking, when I was in the front of a room. I walked around with a piece of paper, a video, and a whiteboard and did the Metcalfe's Law of doubling to paint the vision of how easy it would be if you just know 2 people who know 2 people know 2 people. But you know what? I did it consistently, and I learned what to say. I learned what not to say. I learned objections. I learned how to handle them professionally. I learned that rejection's not going to kill me. I learned what people ask. And believe me, oh my gosh, believe me, there's always, I thought I've heard it all until someone asked the question. I'm like, Wow, 9.5 years. You're brilliant. I always tell them you're brilliant because that's the first time anyone's ever asked me that question. In fact, I had never even thought of that. That's a great way of diffusing a really bad question. It's like, wow, that's an interesting question. I've never thought about that. But because I've done this consistently, I've made the calls, I've presented in front of people. I've had people get up and walk out of my presentations. I was doing a 3-way call with someone one day, and we're like, hello? And my friend got a text, and she said, he hung up and said, I'm not interested. He didn't even have the courtesy to say goodbye to us. And we laughed about it. Oh my God, we laughed and laughed. I've driven 90 miles each way to have 0 people show up. And yes, it was early in my career. I cried the whole time thinking I blew a whole night with my 2 kids. I have 3 now, but at the time. And I thought, can I do this? Is this going to be worth it? I scraped my knees. I've gone through the doubt 1,000,000 times. I've wanted to quit 5 million times. I wanted to quit probably over the 9 years, 1,000 days, so I doubt myself almost daily, and then you override. But the bottom line is there's no shortcut. You've got to learn the skills. Don't say I'm not good at calling people, or I don't have the right personality. So there is no right personality. Kind is the right personality. So you're not kind? You don't know how to talk? It doesn't matter what you say. Just figure out what sounds comfortable. You're going to have to make a list. You're going to have to connect people by an invitation, and you're going to have to share the company story, the product or service story, and the income story with everybody you can. And the name of the game is end of story. The person who shares it, both personally and through their team, with the most people wins. I didn't have any knowledge of network marketing. I had no experience. But all I was willing to do was learn and teach, and I was not great. I mean, I could put you on the phone right now. I could probably Skype her in and be like, Tina, tell everyone what I was like my first 5 months in network marketing. And she would die laughing. She would die laughing. We have so many funny stories. But you know what? I just kept looking at people and say, look, let's do this together. Let's learn, because these people are making crazy money. What if we can too? And some people believed me and went on to make crazy money. And Tina's one of them. She's been on top of 4 companies. And and there's a lot of other people that are still on the journey. At the end of the day, though, you've got to develop the skills. There is no, I don't know how to network. I don't know who to call. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to handle objections. Keep putting people on the phone, even if you have to put the phone, put them on the phone 100 times with someone. Learn what they say. And then here's the thing, attempt to do it yourself. So after 33-way calls, and hopefully pages and pages and pages of notes, when you have someone interested, why don't you attempt to do it? But what happens is you start doing it. I tell my team this all the time. You start doing it and you're having success, and then you call me and say, hey, I have someone that wants to join. Will you talk to her? Why? You just told me she wants to join. You're just bringing here's a football field. You're bringing the ball down to the 1-yard line and then asking me to score the touchdown. You just went 99 yards and you don't think you can go one more? You can. Go and learn. Get in the field, and that will give you more authority, and that gives you knowledge. It gives you wisdom. It gives you confidence, and knowledge in this industry is power. Confidence is power. And you will start having victories, and the victories you have to have first, which I really think I should do this tomorrow. I think I'm going to do this one tomorrow, is the inside versus outside approach. Inner victories versus outside victories. That is a really good topic. And right now I'm studying the 7 habits of highly effective people. I always share with everyone what I'm reading and what I'm learning. And, I highlight and I mark up and I make notes, because here's the thing is, I've learned a lot, but there are still so much to learn, and to learn from people who've sold, just this book sold 15 million copies. And Stephen Covey has mentored like so many people, like John Maxwell reads Stephen Covey, some of the greatest mentors that I've ever had. So why wouldn't I? And so, but what I do is I like to take the lessons that I'm learning in the book, and I take my experience and I try to connect them to this industry in a real way, I have to always say that I'm going to give it to you guys real. I'm never going to BS you. I'm never going to sugarcoat things, because that will not serve you. You want to get where I've gotten, you got to do what I've done. And you know what's cool is you can do more than I've done, and you can pass me up. Even if you're on my team and you join today, you can pass me up as fast as you want. So I hope that you guys are all committed to the process. You can compress time instead of learning it in, becoming a six-figure income in 5 to 7 years. You can do it in a year or two if you make more sacrifices, read more, do more, put yourself in more situations. I had a goal when I first started to put myself in as many situations. I would call and call and call until somebody would invite me into their living room, and then I would share the story, the company story, and the income story with as many people as I can. And that's how I made $460,000 in my first 2 years in network marketing, while working full-time, most of it with 2 small kids and a husband who was just like, go honey. So you can compress time, but the same amount of activities, you're going to have to do them. When you make as many calls as me, when you've got as many rejections as me, you will be as good. I'm not lucky. There's no luck. Remember, luck is when preparation meets opportunity. I think, okay, I'm back. Sorry, it said I lost connection. Get prepared and just keep putting yourself in situations, and then all of a sudden, just like it seems to me, it will be second nature. I was scared crazy to talk to people, but now I don't care because I've been doing it repetitively for 9.5 years. So no shortcut to success. Learn the skills, learn the skill set, learn the mindset, and teach it to other people. And I promise you, no matter where you're starting today, you can go beyond where you ever imagined. So keep learning, keep growing. Thank you guys for joining in. And don't forget to subscribe, youtube.com/create wealth with Tara, or you can just go to YouTube and search Tara Wilson. And thank you guys for sending any time, whether it's lunch, dinner, or bedtime. I know people say they listen to me when they run in the morning, and they listen to me at the gym. So thank you guys. I'm glad to add value to your life, and I will see you tomorrow for episode 33. Thanks guys. Have a wonderful